Hey guys, this is Daniel,
And Matthew,
and
and
we
we
are
are that
that
damn
damn
Brent.
Bren. All right,
You always think it sounds bad, but I think it turned out okay.
I feel
Um,
short now because like I'm lower.
well, that's something that you need to deal with because you figured that out. Anyway, so we're here with episode 12 of our podcast. So let's start with Overwatch. Tell us about the Symmetra changes.
The sim changes went live, yeah. So her turrets, she has less turrets now. She has three instead of six, but they combined do more damage than the six turrets. I don't have the exact numbers right now on me. They ramped up her damage on her main gun, and that I do know. That one is her old damage used to be in first stage. It was 30, then it ramped to 60, and then it ramped to 90, and now it's 60, 120, and I think 180.
Wow.
Yeah, but it doesn't lock on anymore, so you don't really get the unless you're super good. You don't get the whole damage, and it takes a lot longer to up the to stage. It's 2 seconds instead of 1 second. They reworked her ult as well. Instead of having the teleporter and the shield gen, she has just like a barrier that goes across the whole map, and that has 5,000 HP on it. She can launch her turrets now, which is cool, but they can be shot out of the air while they're launching them. They're pretty slow, so it's kind of easy to do. And she has the teleporter as a just the ability on I think a 12-second cooldown, but I think it lasts for like 10 seconds. And you can teleport in and out of it. You can teleport stuff through it. I was playing a quick play game, and a Torb teleported his turret through it.
And then Molten Cord.
Yeah, Monte Cord, and I've done like things on a Vizcaya where I've teleported or across that pond to the left when you start if you're into the attackers, and got behind them, and like it was a quick play game, so don't expect coordination, but they turned around and that made the front line be able to get through. So we actually had them like sandwiched in because I already had a nest up when they came. So it's been pretty fun. She has very creative ways to do things, and my favorite is actually using her on attack than defense because you can use the portal to get in places that people wouldn't expect. It's fun teleporting next to a widow and then orbing them in the face. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, and also, so her secondary fire, the orb,
Oh
is that
yes.
explodes on contact now and flies a lot faster.
It flies a lot faster, charges a lot faster. It does 120 damage if you hit them, but it's because 60 damage is done from the actual impact, and then 60 damage is done from the explosion. So only the person who gets hit is actually going to take the full 120, but everyone else around them will take 60. And it's also good because sometimes I'll hit like a Hanzo or something. Maybe they'll have a little bit damage on them already, and then I'll hit them with an orb, and now they know I'm there, so they'll like if I'm up top, because I like sniping down with those orbs too. It's a lot of fun, and they'll be jumping around. And I can, as long as I get the orb next to them the second time, like I have to hit them once, but the second time the little explosion will take them out. I think it's really good rework. I don't know, like I played her a lot in quick play, and I was winning a lot of games, but don't know if it's because people don't know how to handle her yet. I can't see her being that good in comp yet. It seems like you just get a Winston and you still shut her down. No, that's
Yeah,
just my opinion.
no, I can see that. I haven't had much, well, I haven't had any experience with the Symmetra rework actually, but just from seeing and hearing things, it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, I've always enjoyed Symmetra from the very beginning when you would give individual people shields before you even had a shield generator. Like I played her even back then, so the fact that they're making her like more, I guess like people will pick her more now because she's viable, I guess, as opposed to you're like, well, if we're not defending the first point, then there's no point in having a Symmetra or whatever. Um, so hopefully her pick rate goes up, and then yeah, she sees more playtime across the board.
Yeah, I
But
think she definitely will, but if she's actually viable to compete in the higher, like to win, like if she's a pick that you play not just to have fun, but to actually win, I don't know if she's at that point yet.
Well, maybe with the new addition to the game, there might be some strategies that have yet to be uncovered. And so, getting onto that, Blizzard announced that Hero 28
28.
is also known as Wrecking Ball or Hammond, and he's a hamster who rolls around in a giant metal mech. Yeah, yeah. Digest that one for a minute. What are your thoughts on the hamster?
On like the lore, they play gameplay.
All of it.
Because I know the lore is throwing people off, a lot of people off, and I'm like, you have a talking monkey already that was genetically modified. Why? How is it any different than a genetically modified hamster? Like, it's the same fucking thing, though. The monkey designed shit, and he designed shit. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that people are raging on this. In terms of lore, in terms of gameplay, it looks like he's gonna be really fun to play, but it looks like he's gonna be really strong. And his mobility is really high. I was watching some PTR gameplay, and um, he looks like he can get in, do some damage, and then get out. And based on maybe he'll come with some nerfs the way most characters come into play. I remember Orisa got nerfed at the beginning. I think they lowered her damage, but then they also upped her. I think her shield and her cooldown on the shield. That they lowered it, so they buffed they increased the HP of the shield and decreased the cooldown of the shield. So they buffed it all around. So it's probably going to be one of those trial and error things with him too. See how people react. But a lot of people are saying that he's weak to crowd control. I haven't seen anything like that, but that's what I've been reading.
I mean, I could see that, but it's just crazy the fact that he is so fast and it seems like he's a tank, so he can take a lot of damage. One of his abilities is to gain shields per the amount of enemies that are near him. So yeah, I feel like he's gonna be OP because pretty much every character that comes out is overpowered until they figure out that right balance. Um, I saw a GIF on Reddit of, I think it was, I mean, obviously it's PTR because he's not on the live game, but yeah, PTR gameplay of them playing on, I think it was Blizzard World 6v6. Everyone was playing as him, and they were connected to that shark, like opening up the
Yeah.
darks, and they're just like all spinning around it. Like, it was really funny. But yeah, like in terms of like competitive and stuff, it's gonna be hard to see that, I guess. I think I watched your Overwatch video on it, and they're talking about they could see him as like a second tank, but not a main tank.
Right, definitely. He has no way to protect other people. He can only
Yeah,
really protect himself.
yeah, but
So
maybe
he'll be an off tank, yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean, off tank. Yeah, and he'll be, but like the point I was making originally was maybe there can be some sort of cool thing with him and Symmetra, where she teleports him very high, and then he like rolls off into the air, does the little ground pound thing, and then uses his grapple hook to spin around, and then get up top and then shoot down. And that seems like a legit strategy. So
Time will tell.
yeah, like, for sure. There were a couple other Overwatch changes, but I'm not familiar. Like, I know they
Uh,
buffed Doomfist, right?
I know they did it earlier, like a few weeks ago. The current PTR changes where they're increasing people's damage at range, so they're reducing the amount of drop off for McCree and for Soldier, and they're lowering Widow's hip fire damage, so she won't be able to do as much damage in her machine gun form of the gun. So I think that's good because the current meta right now is spike damage. Pretty much, you go double sniper to get those headshots to get through the healing. It makes the other characters more viable. I think good changes. We'll see if it actually changes anything because I don't think it will, but it's good to make them at least a little bit more viable.
Right. And when you say snipers, you mean Widow Hanzo?
Yeah.
And say I don't think you were including Anna in that, even though I know you love Anna.
No, I don't really consider her a sniper, but yeah.
Well, she's a
Not from the
sniper.
damage. Yeah, I guess in the technical aspect, yeah, but
Yeah.
when
Okay.
she can't headshot, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. All right. So I think we'll move on from Overwatch then. And the next thing I wanted to mention was so at E3 they announced Gears of War 5 and then Gears Pop. I don't know if that's a game or if it's sort of like just actual pops that they're releasing for Gears. And then also I think it was Gears
I
Tactics,
think it's a
which
mobile game, but don't quote me on that.
yeah, and then Gears Tactics, which is like an XCOM version of Gears version of XCOM. But anyway, so with all this Gears news, like it's kind of back in the spotlight, and because of that, Hot Topic is getting exclusive Gears of War merchandise. I don't know why.
Do you know what it is?
It's in the mall.
Not like where Hot Topic is, like what the exclusive merch is.
Oh, do I know what it is?
Yeah. Or
It's
have they even announced it, or is it
I
just
mean,
exclusive merch comes in?
you can go online and look right now. Like they have shirts and stuff that you can only get on hottopic.com. You can't get them on the Epic site or Amazon or wherever else you would buy them. But I mean, some of them look really cool, but it's just like, God, do I want to support Hot Topic?
Nope.
Right,
That's an easy one for me.
right.
I think my hatred for Hot Topic outweighs my love for Gears.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel and I, we lived on Gears for a while, so it's like it's bad that we should have to put ourselves through this dilemma of whether or not we
I
want to
don't know.
do it.
To be fair, I still don't feel that connection to Gears like I did with 3. 4 kind of wasn't. I don't know. It was different. It's weird because I still can't tell what's different about it. It just feels different.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the developer is one of them. I
Yeah.
mean, but yeah,
I think
I
it's a
don't,
bunch of subtle changes here and there, and it just adds up to a different experience. But anywho,
yeah,
maybe if it, back in the Gears 3 day would have bit my pride or whatever they call it, like just swallowed it and gone in. But I don't know, not today.
yeah. Maybe we'll get a exclusive Gears merch from like a loot crate or something. Who knows? We don't have to deal with Hot Topic.
Probably.
Yeah,
I could see that, especially since I got that plushie grenade, which I think was awesome.
yeah. So cool. Moving on. Another thing was announced. I think it was yesterday or the day before. They said that Jim Carrey was going to be playing Robotnik, aka Dr. Eggman, in the live action slash CGI Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Well, getting into the lore, isn't Eggman and Robotnik different? Every Sonic fan always tells me that. Like, apparently Robotnik dies and Eggman is his clone. So that's why from here on out he's always Eggman and not Robotnik anymore.
I don't know. The article was on deadline.com, and I'll put a link to it in the description. But it basically was saying that he was going to play Robotnik. I just figured a lot of people know him as Dr. Eggman as well. Uh, so I'm not as familiar with the lore as others or whatever, so I'm not sure if what you said is correct. But it sounds reasonable. It sounds entirely possible. So, but
Yeah, I don't like Jim Carrey playing Robotnik.
yeah, I don't. I'd have to see the movie itself because it says live action slash CGI. So it's one of those things where they're going to like kind of have the essence of the character, but it's CGI, kind of like a Gollum and Lord of the Rings and
That's
that
what I'm
sort of thing.
guessing. Like the animal characters will probably be CGI, but like the human characters will be each people, like Jim Carrey. Well, who else is human in Sonic, depending on which one you play? Like obviously, if you go back to like, didn't like an Adventure 3, Sonic's like saving the president or something? Adventure 2, I'm sorry. Sonic
Maybe.
like there's a part where you have to play his tails and you get into the president's limo and you like jump in with his car. Like I forget the whole story, but that was a good game. But yeah, like I think that was the first one that had with people in it, right? Or was it Sonic Adventure 1? Or
I
is this
mean,
just the Sonic Adventure series, I should
it's
say?
it's it's been a while, so
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. The thing is, like, it's kind of to me, it kind of is like when they put the Juggernaut in X-Men 3, they cast that one guy. I think his name is Vinny Jones, and he's like a big dude, but like even with the outfit, like he still wasn't Juggernaut because Juggernaut's like ridiculously huge. So I feel like, and then the thing with Robotnik is like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna put Jim Carrey in a suit? Because he's kind of big. So are they gonna put him in some sort of suit, or are they just gonna like have it wearing a green suit and then CGI it all, where it's like it's just kind of like his facial expressions because Robotnik has that like mustache and
Yeah,
you know
and and he's like very different Robotnik's out there. Like, if you watch from the game, he has that round face, and then there's the Sonic Adventures where he has like that cone head looking one. It'll be interesting to see which Robotnik, and then the personalities are different too, because I don't know if you remember growing up, there was actually two Sonic cartoons going on at the same time. I think there was Sonic Hedgehog and the Adventures of Sonic Hedgehog. So there was one where he was in the forest and like the animals were like freedom fighters or whatever because Robotnik took over some place. Like that one was kind of dark, and then you have the other one that was like goofy and shit, and like, so which version of Sonic are they going for? Are they going for the more goofy one to capture the younger audience? Which, if Sega watches this for some fucking reason, that's not the way to go because the kids don't like Sonic nowadays. You're living off of nostalgia because these recent Sonic games have not been good. So
yeah, no, I concur with that statement.
so they should, in my opinion, they should take the more serious approach and make it more adult oriented because the adults are actually to be the ones that want to go watch it.
Yeah, I mean I'll go check it out. Like I don't.
I'd watch it either way, to be honest. But
Yeah, like I don't know how I feel about Jim Carrey being in. I'm not as opposed to it as you are, because I mean, Jim Carrey hasn't been in a good movie in like a long fucking time, but he has been in good movies. Like his performance as the Riddler, and he was in The Mask, and
and
I,
the Grinch,
yeah, and I
that
liked
was a
it.
movie was garbage. I'm just saying.
Well, but but like God, what was that one fucking movie? Oh, the Number 23. I actually did like that one, and that
I
wasn't
never
like,
saw it.
well, so it's nothing like his old movies where he's all like hilarious and funny and slapstick. It's very dark and
A serious
psychological.
role?
Yeah, it's a serious role, and he's like very tormented and dark, and like I really liked it. But it didn't do well, and so that's the kind of like the thing I'm talking about, where it's like he hasn't been in a good movie in a long time, but like I can believe in his performance as an actor. So it just
Maybe he's just been typecasted because he's typecasted in my man, my mind. All I can think of is, alrighty then. Like that's
yeah,
who he is to me.
Ace Ventura talking out of his butt, like
Yeah, like that's who he is to me.
yeah.
Weird
Well,
facial expressions, and that's not Robotnik. At least not the Robotnik that I would like to see. Dr. Robotnik that I like to see is from the more serious Sonic cartoon, where he was devious and he was smart and not just some goof like in the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
yeah. Well, see, and like I said, in the Number 23, he was real dark and psychological and tormented and stuff. So if like that's the Robotnik that they're going for, I could actually see him pulling that off very well. But if
All
he's
right.
and then either or really, because I mean we know he does
Good.
the goofy shit too. So
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say. Like, if he went the goofy way, I can kind of be more like all right with it. But that's the kind of Sonic that I don't want to see.
yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, ultimately we'll have to see it when it comes out or judge it from trailers or whatever.
20 years too late.
I mean, it's better late than never, right?
Yes. Oh, speaking of this, I know it's on our little list to talk about. Did you hear Showtime ordered a Halo TV show?
I did hear that.
I think that's something worthy of being mentioned.
No, yeah, it is. I didn't hear much of like the details. I just heard that they ordered the series.
Yeah, they ordered this series, so it's all speculation what it's going to be about. But my guess it's going to be about the current storyline going on, and I'm not interested if it is.
Well, so do you think they're gonna have Master Chief in it, or is one of those things where like he's off doing shit in the world, but it follows like a group of ODST or whatever, some other kind of you know version of the UNSC?
I think it'll probably be about UNSC or maybe ODST, and Master Chief will probably make an appearance here or there. But that doesn't bother me because to me, Halo isn't Master Chief. Like, obviously, Master Chief's a big part, but there's more to the Halo universe than that because there's so many more Spartans in it, and like the ODST game showed that you can make a good game around the Halo universe that's not on the Spartans. So there's much more to the universe, especially from like if I guess the timeline 1 through 3 or like Reach through 3, I guess in terms of a game timeline, a lot or chronological timeline of the books or whatever. But ever since Bungie left, I feel like the story has gone downhill. Well, obviously the game's gone downhill. Like I just feel like Halo is only surviving because of its name at this point. Like the nostalgia, people don't want to let go, and even those people are upset with the direction that's going.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just curious because I feel like it'll probably be that way where it follows kind of like no names or maybe lesser known characters, and then like you said, Chief makes an appearance. Um, what springs to mind is the TV show Agents of Shield, like Marvel's Agents of Shield, where the main characters that they're following around aren't like heroes or whatever or whatever. Like they introduced one Quake that I know of. I haven't followed this show in a while, but they generally have like lesser known of the characters come in. Like Lady Sif from Thor showed up on an episode and that sort of thing. They bring in alternate versions of the well known heroes and villains. Like Ghost Rider came in, but it wasn't like the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider or like the Ghost Rider from the comics, like the original one. It was the guy that drives like a Hellcat or whatever, like a sports car, like a Mexican dude or Latino dude. I forget his name, but it wasn't Johnny Blaze. It's like another one. But still, they still brought the character in, and he had the chains and the flames and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't the same. But it was just a little bit something to keep them entertained and kind of like almost like throwing them a bone. So that's kind of what I feel like they'll probably do with the Halo as well, is that they'll have follow these other people, but then like Cortana shows up or the Chief shows up, or just you see a silhouette or something, and just kind of
Well,
keep people interested.
it's interesting because they go. I don't know if you know this. If you Cortana's actually the enemy in Halo 5.
Oh no, I never played through Halo 5.
Yeah,
So
neither have I, but that's crazy. So like that's like this. I don't know. That's what I'm talking about with the story. The story is kind of wonky now. It's kind of just like they're trying to come up with shit as they go, and it doesn't work.
well, I mean, I feel like you mentioned, if they start at the beginning, or the stuff
Yeah.
that's already been told, that there's like a lot that they can fill with TV shows, especially because in TV shows they generally have like kind of like a certain plot point they want to get across, but then like let's say it's an hour show, then they have to fill in that it's essentially 45 minutes after commercials with things, whereas the plot's only a certain point, but they have to expand the episodes, so there'll be a lot of like drama between characters and exposition and talking and stuff. So yeah, if they start at the beginning or like towards the front end of Halo, like I could see them making a series that lasts for a couple seasons at least. So
I think they should do something like just Fall of Reach or something. Like the book. Like just make the TV series just the book.
that was a good
Yeah.
book. That's one of the
Yeah.
few Halo books that I've actually read, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. You can fit in a bunch of Spartans, hate Master Chief's in there, but he doesn't have to be the focus of it, and it's gonna bring back a lot of the fans who left the series already. Because there's no question that Halo isn't what it used to be. Halo's not even a top uh, game on the Xbox anymore. Not that the Xbox is doing that well, but
Well, I mean, just look at esports and stuff, like they have Halo World Championships or whatever still, but you don't hear about that shit. You hear about League of Legends and Dota and Counter Strike and StarCraft and
Overwatch.
Overwatch. Yeah, I mean, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you hear about all the shit above, Halo. So yeah, I'd agree with you on that point as well. But all
All
right.
right.
Yep. So we'll move on. Going to get to, man, if I can learn how to talk. We're going to discuss some VR games now. Take a bit of a step back from the stuff we've been talking about. So today we got a chance to play Space Junkies from Ubisoft, which is kind of like, I mean, I guess it's sort of a step down, but I heard it mentioned as a Halo in space, but it's a bit more than that, I think. You
It's
float
an arena
around.
shooter.
Yeah, kind of like Unreal Tournament, I think, is probably
Yeah.
a more adept comparison. But you float around in space, so it's not like you're confined to just running around corridors and strafing. I mean, you do kind of strafe around objects and stuff, but you're floating around in space and you pick up different weapons. And you start off with weapons, but you also can, and you start off with a pistol and gadgets like on your back, but then you can also pick up weapons along the map, power ups and armor and health. And then there are map hazards. I accidentally ran into an explosive barrel. So, but yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. Like, we're probably gonna have a video up before this podcast goes out. So check that in the card that's over here, I think, or over here. Um, yeah, somewhere in that area. So, what did you think of it though? We played it for probably about an hour, maybe.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. I got a few more games than you because you were trying to figure out some issues.
I'll mention that in a sec.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I did 2v2s. I did a three free for all, and then I did the 1v1s with you, and it was pretty enjoyable. I think the 2v2s was my favorite because there was the communication, and we were trying to outflank the other guys, and it brought me back to like those arena shooter days where you try to position yourself and take power weapons. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I feel it's one of those games that you can pick up and come back to every now and then when you just want to have a little bit of fun. Maybe not something that you would like get really competitive with, like Overwatch or something, where you practice it day in day out. But it's something that you can definitely revisit, and especially if they make tweaks and changes, add weapons, add new characters, etc., etc. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. The weapons are kind of varied too. Like there's a slingshot that basically shoots cluster mines or cluster bombs. There's a rail gun, a chain gun, shotgun. Damn that shotgun. Uh, and typical like assault rifle type guns. And then the gadgets. There's an EMP and what was the other one called? Like the one
The
that lets you
sonar.
sonar, yeah, that lets you see people or detect them while they're flying around. That one's, I think that's really powerful. It's almost like the light vision in Halo 4. Is that what it
I
was?
That's exactly what I was thinking about. I
Yeah,
forgot what it's called, but there's
yeah.
some stupid Promethean ability.
Oh yeah, Promethean vision. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, 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 yeah. But that, yeah. So that it can be. It's a little OP, I think, in Space Junkies as well. But it kind of you shoot it out and it goes within a bubble. So the thing about it is though, is if like Daniel's trying to locate me and he shoots it out this way, I can actually see the thing getting shot out. So I actually know that he's over in that area somewhere. It doesn't tell me exactly where, but I know it's from over there. And conversely, if he sees me shoot the thing at him and it says detected, and then he turns and then shoots his or whatever, like if we both have sonar, then we both know where each other are. So it made for some interesting battles. But they have characters have different. Well, there are different characters. So like one of the characters is really fast but doesn't have a lot of health. The other one has a lot of health but isn't very fast, and there's like a few in between. I did better with the one that had more health than the speed. I feel like speed's important, like in terms of mobility, being able to get away from a fight, but like for survivability, I don't think it's that great.
I don't know. That was the guy that I was playing with and against, and he played that speed character, and he fucking wrecked everyone. So I think it's just like, once you get used to the game and you know what the weapons do and which weapons to go to, and it probably gets more strategic and or speed does play a bigger role.
Well, and then like you said with the 2v2 or whatever, once they so right now in the beta or I think it's a beta
It's
that
a
we're playing,
closed
right?
beta.
Yeah, closed beta. There's not a option for you to team up with your friend. Like so Daniel and I couldn't team up together. We basically the only way we were able to play with each other was to do the one versus one in a private match. But they are adding the team up uh, mode or whatever, so that him and I will be able to team up and then take on other people. And I think that that would be an interesting strategy. Is that one of us goes the speed character and the other one goes with like the more tanky, beefier character. So we can kind of. I can like say I'm the speed character. I go around and basically recon the area, find out where everything is, and then he goes in and wrecks shop. So, you know, I think it has some potential to be competitive, but not like you said, not like Overwatch. It's just where like, yeah, I'm gonna play some VR for a little while, but I want to be awesome, so I'm gonna play this game.
Yeah, it's a good competitive VR game, and there's not very many out there. A lot of them are story, and some of them are just tech demos. So it is a solid like shooter for VR, which is good.
Yeah. So going back to what Daniel mentioned a few minutes ago, the thing about Space Junkies is that apparently I was having issues with it. Like I would load up the game, try to get through the tutorial, and my fucking internet would crash. Like just completely crash. Like I had to restart my
Hmm.
modem, I restarted my PC, all this shit. I finally the stable connection was stable again, so I got on, booted up the game. It fucking happened again. I'm like, okay. So, once is kind of suspicious, second time's very suspicious. I decided to give it a third fucking time, and it happened again. Like, Daniel didn't believe me. I was like, dude, I think it's the game that's fucking up my internet. And he's like, nah, no way. And sure enough, I Googled it on the forums, and it's happening to other people. It's a fucking thing. I had to go into my router settings and disable UNPN or UPnP or whatever. And after that, it worked fucking fine, like flawlessly. I feel like that's very dumb on their part. That something that, like, let's say somebody who's not as technologically inclined as I am, they wouldn't know how to even access their fucking router, so they wouldn't be able to fix that shit, and then they wouldn't be able to play the fucking game. So I feel like that's something that Ubisoft needs to address. But that could also be said regarding Ubisoft as a whole. There's a lot of shit that they need to address in their games. They release a lot of games that have a lot of fucking problems with them. Like they're cool as fuck. Like Far Cry is cool, but it has fucking problems. Like The Division's cool, it has fucking problems. Assassin's Creed, like, oh my god, do we even need to talk about Unity and its fucking problems? It's like, so I think Ubisoft just needs to step its QA game the fuck up and get people in there that could test it with all kinds of varying conditions, and so these games come out in a lot better shape.
To be fair, we are in the testing position. Like, it's a closed beta. But,
Right, but what I'm saying is like it's not like it's the only thing. Like pretty much
well,
every
yeah.
single fucking
No,
Ubisoft game has issues. So
I was about to say, like, so this one gets a pass for now, but the other ones are completely valid.
yeah, yeah. So hopefully that's something that they remedy before it reaches full release. Because like I said, if anyone who doesn't know how to fuck to change the settings on the router, they're just gonna give up. So it's gonna lose out on money. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it was cool. Like I said, we have video, so we'll probably play more of it. Hopefully.
Ends tomorrow.
Well, I meant once it's in further release
Oh,
or
okay.
another beta or something. But anyway, okay. And then the other game we wanted to mention, we're actually, I think we're both pretty excited about, is Marvel Powers United VR. And that game just looks cool as hell. You basically take control of a Marvel character, and you said it's a wave defense type game, like
That's
horde
what I
mode.
remember reading a long time ago. That game is kind of what this one and I think Killing Floor, but Killing Floor them both now, was kind of the two that swayed me to go Oculus over Vive. And yeah, like it looked pretty cool when I saw it a year ago, and I'm still excited about it now. But $40 is a little steep for what it looks like it is, in my opinion.
So right now they haven't. The game comes out July 26th, which is in like 4 weeks almost, because today's July 1st. But we they haven't announced a lot of characters for it. They've released some characters and it's like some heroes and some villains. So out of the heroes that they've announced, the only one that I would really want to play is Deadpool. Maybe Captain Marvel, but like Hulk, I don't know, like whatever. Rocket Raccoon, you know,
That's just like a
uh,
first-person shooter.
what's that?
Rocket Raccoon,
Oh yeah,
there's something special about him.
yeah, yeah. But then the villains, they've only announced two of the villains, and one of them's Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy, who I could give a shit less about, and the other one's Loki, which, I mean, okay, that might be interesting. See what kind of magic you have in the game or whatever. But it looks fun. You're. It's just like, kind of like you're taking the role of a Marvel character, but it's in VR. So it should. I have high hopes for it, and I hope it's good. But like you
I hope
said,
it's good.
$40 does seem a little steep. So
Yeah, kind of like maybe it's because they haven't revealed much yet, which is kind of odd because, like you said, it's we're in the same month of its release right now. Um, I don't just see a lot of content, and I even looked for it, and it's all the same thing that I'm seeing. Just I don't know.
well, and so it's co-op, but it's four-player co-op?
That's another thing that I don't know yet because it says single player or co-op. So I don't know if like the single player is separate than like the wave defense, or maybe like single player story and then just a co-op mode on the side to bash up people, which isn't as cool as a co-op story.
Right. Or maybe the thing is the entire like it's a mashup of this like story and wave defense. So the story is you need to get from point A to point B, but you have to kill X amount of guys to get there.
The door opens at 300 dead people.
Yeah, exactly. But one of the videos I saw that actually made me kind of think like that looks cool as hell was that somebody was playing as the Hulk and they had a villain grabbed by the head and the other character's playing as Deadpool. So Hulk is holding up the villain and then Deadpool is just shooting him. I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, it looks fun, and we'll probably have a video on that sometime in the future. If not when it comes out, then maybe we'll wait a little while and get it for cheap, and do one then. But we'll see.
Looks fun.
Yeah. Well, we're running a little long again, so we'll probably go ahead and call it a wrap on this episode, unless there's anything else particularly you'd like to mention.
No, not really. I don't think I'm good for today.
All right, then. Well, for this episode and for every other episode, I've been Matthew,
I've been Daniel.
and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yep. Peace.
Have a
Later.
good one. Bye.